Alright Gaijins, and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would share with you some misconceptions about Japanese schools. Because recently I saw this website online and almost every single thing it said about Japanese schools was bullshit. So having lived in Japan now for 7 years and having taught in elementary school, junior high school and high school, I think it's fair that I can comment on these things and dismiss every single one of them. So without further ado, let's begin. Bullshit. This is just not true. I don't know where this fact has come from. Maybe it was true back in the day. But for example, my current school has around 6 to 7 cleaning staff. They clean the whole school. Of course, students also clean their own rooms and they'll occasionally take out the rubbish and things like that. But there are still janitors, cleaners, call them what you want. They're there. At the end of the school day, there'll be some osoji timer, which is just cleaning time basically. Yeah, students will clean for like 15-20 minutes, various things. The main jobs are done by the actual cleaning staff. Bullshit. No dating. I don't know where this one came from because literally every school I've been to, except elementary school, I've seen couples. Where has this information come from? Like, okay, couples aren't allowed to kiss. Obviously, it's a school, but they still date. They hold hands in school, outside of school, on the way to school, on the way back from school. Like, what do you think Japan is? It's not North Korea, mate. Students can date. Bullshit. I mean, what? You think they work 365 days a year? No. Although they obviously work a shitload more than Western countries, they still holiday. Like even the club activities, they'll have a day or 2 days off a week and they still get summer, winter, spring breaks. So don't know where this one's come from, literally. Like they do have holidays. Bullshit. Yeah, this one, I guess it's true for elementary school and junior high school. So maybe I'll let this one slide. But in high school, students bring their phones in all the time. They're not allowed to use it outside of the classroom or during class. Those 10 minutes between classes, lunch, before school, after school. Yeah, it's fine. In my school, they actually have to download an application so they can use it sometimes in class if they forget their iPad. So that way they can still receive teachers' notes and things like that. It's fine, yeah. I mean, I use my phone in class to do presentations and stuff. So sometimes I'll airdrop stuff to students. I'm like, just get out your phone. I don't know, maybe Japanese rules have become a lot more relaxed. Yeah, phones are allowed sometimes. Bullshit. Right, I want to read this one off the website, so bear with me. If a teacher is absent or sick, then the class that teacher was supposed to take is not assigned to a different teacher. Instead, the students are alone in class studying on their own. No, this doesn't happen. There must always be a teacher present. Always. Always. I can't stress this enough. I don't know where that's come from again. I mean, first of all, teachers don't take holidays, sick days or anything. They've got so much work to do anyway. Like some of my teachers have actually told me, oh, I'm sick. And I'm like, go home. And they're like, nah, because if I go home, then I'll have to do twice as much work tomorrow. And I'm like, won't other teachers like cover your stuff? And they're like, nope. However, what usually happens is that there's just a schedule change. So a teacher that is free, that's sitting around in the staff room, will just take that class instead. So if the English teacher's sick, the class will just change to maths or science or Japanese or something. The students definitely will not just be sitting there by themselves. So bullshit. Like I live in Hokkaido, okay, which is an island on its own, the biggest prefecture in Japan. Facts. So I'm surrounded by sea, and even we don't have mandatory swimming lessons. Most Japanese people I know can't swim. I've actually put this on Facebook before to ask my friends, and some people living in Tokyo and things like that do say that when they're in elementary school, they do have mandatory lessons, but it's like once a month or something. Some schools as well do have their own swimming pool, so if you're rich, I guess you can have it. I remember in England when I was in year 6, so when you're like 11 years old, we went to the local swimming pool for about 6 months every Friday afternoon. So there is that. And of course, by then everyone can swim already because your mum and dad force you to swim because it's swimming. But here in Japan, no, it's not mandatory at all. Occasionally, maybe in some private schools, but 99% of the time, nah. Bullshit. All students must have black hair. This is true, but there are a lot of foreigners now in schools, and also there's a lot of students that are half Japanese in school who obviously have different hair color. Now I've read that everyone has to have black hair, and that's not exactly true. It's more that students cannot dye their hair. They just have to have their natural hair color. Occasionally there's a Japanese boy or girl, 99.9% of the time, they will have black hair. That 0.01% of the time, they might have slightly brown hair. That's fine, as long as they don't dye it. Maybe that's just my school, I don't know. Maybe other schools do dye it, but especially foreigners, you're not expecting these students with blonde hair to then have black hair. Japanese schools aren't that strict. It's just no dyeing, no gel, no hair products and things like that. But your own hair is daijoubu. Bullshit. When I first came to Japan, in my actual presentation about Japan and Japanese school systems and all that, my trainers were saying that all Japanese students have to eat their school lunches. So we were all obviously like amazed, and we're like, oh my god, they eat like everything? And they're like, yeah, they eat like every last grain of rice because it's rude to leave anything. So in all the schools I've been to, yeah, lunchtime is great. You get like loads of nutrients, you get a mixture of this and that. So you do want to scoff it all down. Yeah, of course you do. But there's 3, 4, 5, 6 students per class that maybe don't drink the milk or leave the fish or don't drink the soup, and that's fine. No one's punished. No one's looked upon like, you weirdo. And in most of the cases, what they do is they'll jankin for it, which is like rock, paper, scissors, and the winner will just receive the person's food. Also, students who have allergies can bring their own bentos in. So if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can bring your own in as well. You might be seen as mezurashi, like unusual, but it's absolutely fine. Students bring their own things in anyway if they're allergic. I sat next to students sometimes who had soy milk instead of the milk provided by the school, and everything's just fine. So hopefully this video can be seen far and wide across the land, and these bullshit myths about Japan can be extinguished, because Japan is great. It's not as strict as everyone makes it out to be. There is a lot wrong with it, and maybe I'll discuss that in another video, but for now, Japanese schools are quality, man. They're good, they're fun, students enjoy it. Days are long, sure, but it's fun. So yeah, cheers for tuning in, guys. Give us a like, subscribe if you ain't, and sayonara.